There we go. We are live.
Welcome to this next episode of the Business Maverick. So we are Kathy and Katie, and we are Heart-Led Business Mavericks, and our podcast is here to support everyone that has a mission and wants to make a big impact in the world. And we're bringing together like spirituality, business, quantum shifting, with like sales tactics and other ways to get to your first 10k months, because we found that once you get to 10k months, it's much easier to re-input money back into your business to bring your mission to life and make more of an impact. And 10k is just like quite a good round figure that helps you to get to that. So today we're going to be shamelessly plugging our challenge, which is coming up in a few weeks' time. So we're going to talk through, we've had a lot of DMs asking us what's in each day, what's going to be like, because obviously you can only show so much on your sales page. So we're just going to delve into like what topics we're going to be talking about and why we've picked those topics based on all the people that we're working with and all the queries, you know, what we get asked in our DMs all the time. So day one. So we're going to start with a little introduction of the manifestation cycle. And we're going to go through the 5 key points of how to quantum shift your manifesting. And we're going to be touching on like the thoughts and the mindset, the feelings and the vibration, the relationship you have with the universe or God or something outside of you, how to charge up your 100% all in energy to get in the state of someone that takes action, and how all of these 5 things play together in helping you quantum shift, helping you manifest, and like activating. We use a lot of frequency charges to activate your manifestation. So everything you're doing when you charge up your frequency, you go up the consciousness funnel, which helps you to activate every single thing you're doing, whether that's consciously manifesting, whether it's like on a sales call, doing your copywriting, talking to your kids in the morning, like whatever it is, every single element of your life impacts your business in the long run. So it's activating all different areas and charging up your energy in different ways so that you amplify everything that you're doing and 10x the speed of it, so that you can it's called like jumping the timeline. So everything that you create in your mind and you believe is possible is created in the quantum. It's just how quickly can you bring that into like the reality so you can see it. And you jump the timelines by understanding the manifestation cycle and how different things impact it. So we're going to help you to amplify the manifestation cycle so you can quantum shift and jump timelines and bring into your reality what you want in a quicker way. So we're going to do a short introduction on how that works.
Yeah.
And I think Katie's going to talk through like what is your next level.
Yes. Yeah. So then obviously when you manifest, it's very important that if whatever you're manifesting, you have clarity around what you're manifesting, or you can end up pulling in things that necessarily you don't really want, and your subconscious can be sabotaging you. So you could be saying, oh, I want to get to this level, but are you actually aligned with that? Like, is that what you want? So get really clear on what actually is the next level that you're stepping into. Because if you're saying, okay, I want to be a badass boss, I want to be CEO, I'm like turn on CEO mode, that's what I am. I'm not a freelancer anymore. I'm maybe not even like a business owner. I'm a CEO. Like, okay, that's what you want to be. So then you start coding in and you start manifesting around being that person. And then what actions is it that person is going to take? Every single day, not just once a week, it's every single day. So you're waking up and you are that person already. You're embodying that person already. You're not waiting for that person to magically appear, or you're not waiting for those 10k months and then you can be the CEO. You're the CEO now, even if you're making 1k a month. Even if you're, so just to give the backstory for me, I was making £300 a month. And then I was like, no, I am a badass boss. I am the CEO. And within 3 months, I was making 3K. And then 6 months later, I was making 6K. And that was because, and I was having this conversation with somebody the other day to say, did you sort of share that point that you were at when you were making £300? Did you sort of share the vulnerability like around that? And I said, I didn't. But there's a fine line between, were you not sharing that because of shame, which I have done in the past? Definitely no, I didn't then. And then there's a point where, are you not sharing that because you are choosing You are deciding you are not that person. You are not the person making £300 a month. You're the CEO. You are so extraordinary and different to the person who is making £300 a month. And this is not to say that you're any better than a person that's making £300 a month, for example. It's just saying that is not what I am choosing. I am choosing to have different because I want that, and I know I can have that, and I know I deserve it. So it's really about becoming that person, even if your reality at that particular point doesn't show it. And that's where it can seem a little bit like people are like, oh, but that's really hard to do, or that's a bit crazy. And that's where you're sort of going into the delusional. But again, there's a fine line between delusional. Are you absolutely, have you lost it? Like, are you making like random shit up that's never going to come true? Or are you saying, no, this is going to come true, and I'm going to take every single action that I need to, that's going to get me to that point. So there is a difference between the two. And if you want to manifest, if you want to create that life, that's where it starts. It starts with deciding, who is this next version of me? Who is this better version of me that I'm going to become? And then do it. Do the actions. Take the actions. It's so important.
Yeah, that leads us nicely to like the last thing. So we're going to focus a lot around the manifesting the quantum. Who is it that you want to become? Getting clear on what you want, because getting clarity helps not only yourself, but also obviously it helps like the greater universe or whatever powers you're working with. Because if we're not asking for what we want, then we can get unexpected things, and we can get things in the way that we don't want them. We're going to help you to understand how to detach from the how. Because it's not necessarily, yes, it's our job to take actions, but it's not necessarily, so say like we're manifesting to get to 10k months, we wouldn't say like, right, I'm going to get, logically we might make a bit of a cash flow plan to say, right, 3 clients can get us to that money at this price point. But we want to be open with the how, because sometimes you can manifest money in weird and wonderful ways. Like you could just go to a networking and meet someone and get a contract there, and then that gets you the 10,000. Like that kind of thing's happened to me multiple times. So it's important to detach from the how, but still be being enough clarity to bring in like the manifestations you want. And we're going to also work a lot on how to create a CEO mindset, because a lot of clients, and I get asked a lot, how do I become like a CEO? Because when you've come from like an employee mindset, like working in corporate, even if you was like a high up a role in corporate like I was, you still carry a lot of programming from basically, like what happens a lot is we get our value and our worth from our corporate world, from our jobs. We don't necessarily know it's happening, but obviously businesses are created that way. Businesses are created that way in terms of psychologically, like they know how to build up a workforce to give them value, to give them worth. I'm not saying that is run correctly in every job, but if it was, by the rewards they give us. So obviously, like we get given tasks, we have to complete them. We get feedback from our manager. We get like congratulations on other things. We get promotions. We have like those like quarterly kind of reviews where you get feedback. Like you're constantly in a feedback loop. But when you leave work or a job and you come into entrepreneurship, it doesn't matter how long you've been in it, you always carry the programming of value and worth. And we have to get self-reflective so that we can give ourselves the value and the worth. Because if we don't build our business on a strong foundation of we validate ourselves, we will seek that validation from other things. And that's when you hear terms like, oh, I'm a people pleaser, like I don't have boundaries. So that could mean like how you are with your staff, your employees. It could be like getting your value from your clients, over delivering, not having boundaries in the prices that you charge. And also because we work a lot with trying to get to like our first 10k months, like consistent 10k cash months. Often when you start out in business, your worth you seem to measure your worth against your bank balance, and that's not a very good way to start business in the beginning, because you're going to have very up and down months. And we're going to talk on day 3 about the sales cycle. And one of the psychological reasons that we have up and down months is because we're often only selling to the 3% of people that are ready to buy in that moment, and we kind of miss the nurturing cycle. But if you're measuring your success to your worth in the beginning, when you're becoming a CEO, when you're stepping into a new identity, when you're learning and thinking about who you want to be and embodying that, most of the successes are going to be internal, so they're going to be intangible. So it's important that we're tracking the intangible successes, because if you only track your bank account, which is probably going to be going up and down, some high months, some low months, some good clients, some not so good clients, good contracts, not good contracts, if you're measuring it against those tangible things, like you're in this season of business where that is naturally going to be up and down at the beginning. So we have to be able to measure internal successes, and that's really important for building like a strong emotional foundation, so that you build your business on a strong foundation of resilience and self-belief, and knowing that whatever you want is inevitable for you. And we're going to show you the foundations of how to build that. So that's kind of like the summary of day one.
Yeah.
Hopefully you stay with us this time. So day two. So I'll let you go first. So day two is going to be a lot more of a focus day.
Yes.
We're going to start off with, you can talk about it. So pricing and
yeah. So day two, we're going to get more into the sort of business and master plan behind your business, and it's not necessarily going to be related to your values, is what many people think that you're going to start with. Like, absolutely, they're so important, but for this day two is really going to be about actually pricing to enable you to run a business that gets you to your financial goal. We're not massively going to go into it on the challenge, but having something that would be scalable is so important. But the massive big thing behind that is it's got to be scalable to your time. So if you're doing one-to-ones, then how much time have you got to do those one-to-ones? And then can you set a price for that one-to-one package that is going to be, you can do it in that time, and it's going to get you to your financial goal. And as well, it's going to be you. It's going to be aligned to you, and it's going to be aligned to your values and everything around that. So that's the really, really important thing in regards to that. So we all, and you know more about this than I do, because you were the person that took me on this journey about having your money thermostat and making sure that, yes, we've got the money that we need. That's the baseline of money that we're going to need to live and operate from every single month. But then actually, what do we want, and what is our money thermostat actually set at? And how can we grow that so that we can get to those higher income months? Because there is nothing wrong with getting to those higher income months. It definitely doesn't mean working harder. It definitely doesn't mean working more, but it does mean that you value yourself because more in terms of, I can raise my prices because actually what I do is really bloody good, and I should. So we're going to be talking a lot about sort of amplifying the business side of things. On day one, we're focusing on you, amplifying you, your identity, your next level, and then day two really goes into amplifying your business, and making sure that your business and your identity are aligned as well, because that's going to be a massive thing when it comes to the pricing. Because if you're not amplified, then you're not going to be able to put your prices up, because you're not going to see the value and the worth in yourself. And if you want to get to those higher income months, even if it's 4K a month, you need to start off with a package price that's going to reflect that, your ability to get to those months. Otherwise, you're going to be overworked and just going around on a cycle of loads and loads of clients on a lower price. And you're just not going to have time for the business development and the sales activities, which are hugely important as well.
Yeah, and one thing like recently, over the last month, I've had at least 10 one-to-one sessions with really skilled business owners that have got loads of qualifications, especially like healers and light workers, like hypnotherapists, counselors, therapists. Kind of like one of the areas that I work in a lot with heart-led business owners, and they're very skilled with a lot of qualifications. It's actually really surprising, because when we go to setting the price is actually like the easier part. It's a logical, you can build it on a spreadsheet in 5 minutes. Yes, you then have to get into alignment with it. But the thing that I found people struggle with a lot is like, well, how do I make my package reflect that? Because in that moment, sometimes when we're the person that has the skills, we only see, well, I just do hypnotherapy. We don't see like the transformation. So we need to switch it to the transformation output that we're giving to the person. So we never really sell like the modalities that I use. I think maybe only once ever in like 3 years have I told somebody on a sales call or before I work with them what I'm using, because I'm always selling the outcome that they're looking for. So it's like you're not just a hypnotherapist, but actually, like the last call I did, honestly, this lady, she was skilled in about 6 different areas, and it was so easy to put a package together with combining all the different areas. So you have to move away from the mindset of like, oh, I charge £50 per hypnotherapy session or something. We're going to look more at like, what's the transformation you're going to give to somebody, and then work backwards into like, okay, so on average across the ones I've done, and if you're not 100% sure right now, or maybe you've only worked one-to-one on one-off sessions, but a lot of people, they've worked one-to-one 10 times with somebody, but on a one-to-one per hour basis. But actually, if you sat down and thought, on average, how many sessions am I giving the average person to get to so-and-so transformation? Let's just say maybe it's 4. It's like, that's the start of the package, 4 sessions already. So we're going to, and then it's how do you stack the bonuses and what make you feel good? Because we don't want to be reducing the price down. We want to be stacking the value that we give to people. And honestly, there's so many ways that you can do that. So like, we'll touch into that in the call, but for instance, like obviously we're not going to cover it all in the challenge, because I'm doing like a 2-hour call sometimes with people just to build their package and to set their prices and to give them a bit of a business plan to go off with so they can start implementing it. And if you feel unsure because you feel like you haven't worked with people on a repetitive basis, we just start off with like beta programs. So we know what the price is going to be, like 5,000, and we're going to sell it for like 1,999 to start with. And then you can test and play. And there's so many things that go into your identity with creating a new package, becoming a different type of business owner, which is why we're covering that so much in day 1. And then also in day 2, the other thing we're going to cover is we're going to be looking at like the calendar of events. So we're going to be looking backwards, because what we've found is when we're trying to get towards a certain goal of money, it's like often we're not actually doing the activities that are going to drive that money. And by activities, I mean, like, how many people are we offering a call to a day? How many people are we pitching to every day? How many people do we talk to in our DMs and our conversations? How many inbound do we get from our sales? But then also, are we doing a masterclass? Are we doing a challenge? Have we created a lead magnet? Is that, how many people is that bringing in? So a little bit of logical, like collecting the KPIs and the data, but also how to create the lead magnet, how to plan out a content. So once we've decided on the money we want and we've got the program we want to sell, it's like, what activities can we commit to that are going to get us to this? Are we creating a Facebook group? Are we running a challenge in there? Are we doing a masterclass? Are we going to do something recorded or something? Are we going to sell something lower ticket that gets them into a bigger package? Like, there's so many different ways depending on where you are in your business and how much you want the goal. That's what it comes down to. Like, how much do you want the money goal that you've set? And your calendar needs to be filled with the activities that are going to drive it in. But the reason we're working on the identity is because in the moment we always think we don't have time for all of these things, but the thing is, time doesn't actually exist. Your relationship with time that needs to improve. Like, we need to get it so that we're working in the flow. And this is another mindset change from being employed again and working in a job, because your relationship with time is a bit screwed up when you work in a job, because you get very set into a 9 to 5 kind of mentality. And when you leave, you carry that with you. But it's actually like, to manifest, we need to get more into the flow. And when you're in the flow and when your frequency is activated, you move up the consciousness funnel. And the higher up the consciousness funnel you are, the more connected you are to source, to your wisdom, to your like intuition. And we want to strengthen that, because once you're in the flow, once your vibration's right, you will get intuitive kind of information. So even a client I was having a call with last night, you know, she's like in a big corporate job and going for like a CFO type level. And I remember when I think we're on session 4 or 5 together now. And when we started, I remember saying about how when you move up the conscious funnel from the frequency and vibration, you start to, because we've got tools that you can test your intuition that we use. We can show you it in the challenge, but it's in our programs. But once you get so far down the journey, you don't need the tools anymore, because you intuitively hear the same answer. And it sounds weird when you haven't got that connection. But even she said last night, I think we're only on session 4, and she's like, oh, I asked a question this morning, like I heard the answer. So I think that's what you meant when you said, when you get so connected, and you can still test it with the tools after, because you're a bit unsure at first as you're learning. So there's so much importance in like building a relationship with every area of your business. So not just the things you think of like money and clients, but also like time, there's a lot of relationships with time that we need to improve, because if you just looked at all the activities that you have to do, you would think, I haven't got time to do them. Actually, like, how do us two find time to do them? How do our clients find time? It's our relationship with time that changes, and our outlook of how we think. And Katie will know how annoying it is, because every day she messages me to moan about something, and I'll automatically say, we choose the state we're in. And it literally happened 5 minutes before this call. We can literally change the state that we're in, and we get to change it. We can only be in one state at a time. So we either believe we don't have time or believe we do have time, and we can switch that state really quickly. And it's switching that state, the mental energy and load that you release just gives you back so much time, because we don't realize how much time and energy is used up from our mental thinking about something. And probably the time that you've taken to call somebody and moan about something for 10 minutes and tell them something in a text message for 10 minutes, you literally could have just done an activity. So again, it's all part of the procrastination cycle, which we're going to help you break through that.
Absolutely.
So on day 3, we're going to focus on we're going to be sharing a lot about codes and beliefs. So we all have codes that like sit within our subvolcanic particles, that sit within our DNA, if you like. And every level of identity you go to, you have a new level of code. So this is why it's so important that you resonate with the coaches that you work with, because you will get the codes from your coaches, and you want them to be embodied in what they're selling to you. Because like, I've worked with coaches before who actually put a lot of negative codes into me as well. Maybe not on a conscious level, but subconsciously. When I went to a different coach and I just mentioned a few things my coach had said, she showed me how that's really limiting me, because that hadn't been successful for her. For instance, like this coach was saying that you can't sell like mindset work unless you're selling it with business. But I've never really sold business until this challenge that I'm doing now. And I've still made 15, 20K months just from selling identity, manifestation work, internal work, one-to-one and in a group setting. So it's really important. And so the codes of the people you're around, you get their codes, and that's why people say the 5 people you're around the most and the most influential. But it's more than just the words that you speak to each other. It's on like a deeper frequency level as well. So we're going to show you like what codes we have and how to up level your codes so that you can embody them into your frequency and your new identity. So like, for instance, with the money thermostat, like you can only earn what your subconscious mind believes is safe for you to earn. But once you start to upgrade your codes, the codes allow you to feel safe to hold and to earn more money. And obviously our whole program and challenge is designed around 10K months. So we're going to give you the codes to safely be able to hold that, to earn that, to call it in, to receive it, and to have no negative emotions like greed, or to know that it's aligned with your mission and your impact. But when we give you codes and we show you how to do them, you only keep the codes for so long unless you're embodying them. And that's where the whole manifestation cycle comes in again. It's like taking the actions, knowing what actions to take. You know, you can't just be around someone, get their codes, and then you're going to earn 10K a month. It's like we've given you the codes to hold the 10K, to be open for the 10K, so that you can actually call it in and receive it and keep it and grow your bank balance and be a CEO and invest your money and grow the company. But codes only do so much. You know, you need to be taking action and doing other things in the manifestation cycle as well. So we're going to show you that. And then I think you're going to talk about how the codes go into like marketing, copywriting.
Yes. Yeah. So the codes that you're putting in, everyone thinks, well, not everybody, sorry, but it can come across sometimes that you're just coding in sort of for yourself. And it is, but you can also code in for the people you want to come into your world. So in terms of your ideal client, you can code in about that. And then when it comes to the copywriting side, so I've obviously worked on LinkedIn a lot over the past 3-4 years. I don't know. I lose track. Everything's sort of merged into one when you don't believe time is a thing. So I've always said there are 4 different sort of levels and what is needed when it comes to actually appealing to people and actually doing good marketing. Like I'm not saying that people are doing it wrong, but the point is that it takes you across the whole journey. And we know we've got the funnel of this know, like, and trust. Even though I call it slightly different things to that, you're going from that awareness level down to the trust and the conversion. So you've got to go through different levels of content and putting that out there. But that's, again, you are putting your frequency, like you said earlier, you're putting your frequency into your content. So it's important that you know the logical side to it and the strategical side of what's actually going to work from a business perspective, like what has always worked in a business perspective. Because the strategy has rarely ever changed. It's evolved as obviously technology has grown, for example, and every year we go into sort of a new way of doing business. It changes because of what's going on in the market. There's an astrological side to it. There is so much going on that can impact on business strategy, but at the whole, the fundamentals of it are always the same. So it's about knowing what those fundamentals are, and that's one of the things that we'll briefly talk about in the challenge. Would be there literally for like a year if we spoke about it all in the challenge. So we'll briefly touch on that, and then how you can put yourself and your frequency and your identity and your next level into those things as well, and really connect it to the people that you want to appeal to, and align your message to your business and to you, because it's very important that everything is aligned. Your business, your messaging, all of it. It's very similar, even though that it's not the same wording. We all know about the mind, the body, and the soul connection, and it's very much the same. There's the you, there's the business, there's the marketing, and they all sort of work in tangent. It's like a beautiful triangle, or the business holy trinity, for if that would make more sense to people, about getting that out there. And the whole challenge is just putting all of those three things together, and then that's the basis for your business. And from there is no stopping you once you've got those three elements sort of all pinned in together. Because even though sales is a massive thing, and that is something that we will briefly talk about in the challenge and go on to talk about in the program, if you can nail those first three things, then they're all the things that you can put into your sales call, and you can make sure that your frequency is activated for your sales calls. You can get the strategy for your business, the roadmap for your clients, what people will actually go through, and you can show them, and you can add the skill of sales into that. So you're combining the identity, the mind, that side of things to the strategy. That's the whole thing. We're merging both of them, because that's then when everything does it's just like magic. Everything just works out because you've aligned them. Brilliant.
Because one of the things with the manifesting cycle, again, one of the things that we talk about a lot is the law of assumption, and the assumptions that we have make a really big impact to our frequency and how we show up, because obviously different people have different levels of what they believe in with the assumptions. Because I've worked with assumptions for a long time, and I know you can change them really quickly and easily. And actually, even my clients, especially in people, have seen a lot of changes just within 3 or 4 weeks of doing it. But with assumptions, like for instance, with the economy, what you were talking about, like there's people often say to me, oh, no one's buying, people aren't spending that much money. But then like I'm still selling packages that are like 6, 7, 10,000. And then my coach, who's like already like a multimillionaire, she's selling like 20, 30, 50, 60K packages. Another coach I work with, her average packages are like 50, 60,000. And I'm talking like people paying full. So
there is never a time when people are not buying. I believe that's everybody is buying, but just when they feel ready to buy. That could be in the height of summer, that could be the day after Christmas, Boxing Day. Should have just said that. It doesn't, there's no sort of seasonal trends. There's seasons, but there are not trends on buying, because you buy when you're ready to buy, and nobody dictates when that's going to be.
Yeah, and a lot of what you assume comes true, because if you assume there's certain times when people don't buy, like it's back to, I think we talked about it on maybe podcast 1, the reticular activating system that we have in our mind that filters in information for us. So if you say like, right, I want to buy a new car, and you want to get a red car, and you know the car it wants to be, people test it all the time to see if it works. Like they'll say, right, I want to see a yellow car. You can guarantee you will see 5 or 6 yellow cars in that week, if not even more than that. And that's why people pick an obscure color. But if you weren't doing it for that purpose, and you were just like thinking, if you were just like you say, the algorithm kind of follows us around. So if you typed into Google, like I'm looking for a red car, then your Facebook would show you red cars. Then also you're going to see red cars on the roads. You're going to see them in people's driveways. You're going to see them a lot more than you think that you saw them before. But there isn't suddenly more red cars. Your reticular activating system is just searching for them because you've programmed it in as like it's an important thing that you believe that you're going to get. So therefore it's showing it to them. But the same thing applies with the clients in the season. So I mean, like last November, December, I had like my biggest months. I had like 40k cash over like 2 months, and everyone said, you know, most people slow down in November, but I'm like, no, when other people slow down, speed up, because it's like what you assume to be true is who you'll call in. So if your dominant beliefs is that no one's buying, no one will spend this money, no one has any money, no one buys at this time of the year, there's too much recession going on. If you believe all them things, then you call in the people, because your RAS system does exactly the same as the red car. It goes out searching for what you believe to be true and shows you more of that. So therefore you'll meet more people that say that. Like I hold really strong assumptions about who buys from me, like how many circulates, how much money people have, what people are invested in. And like I've invested like 20k into my own coaching program that I'm working with my mentor. So because I hold them assumptions, I don't really come around people that will talk about recession and people not having money, because it's not really an assumption that I hold. So therefore it just doesn't come into like my arena. But if I do have a client that comes and would say something like that to me, they're going to get my codes really quickly. And they're going to go away just not believing what other people have said. And they're going to go away with my codes, because why would they not believe the evidence of someone who's in front of them that is selling? So yeah, it's really important, like the assumptions that you hold and how it impacts the actions that you take.
Yes.
Because the assumptions you hold really do divert you into the actions you take and who you are when you're taking the action. So that's really important as well. And we are going to talk on the challenge in day 3 about the sales cycle. I think we touched on it before. So how to warm up the 95% of the audience that you probably had some conversations with, maybe even a sales calls with, and how like no sale is ever lost. And we're gifting like our pipeline tracker that we use, which is like what you can use if you don't have a CRM yet and you want to keep track of like potential clients and leads and like the stage they're at in the journey with you. So you can just follow through like the stages of nurturing people through. This is like before you've got a podcast, before you've got like a YouTube channel, before you've got like big things in place. When you're just beginning and you're getting 10k months and you're just selling high ticket packages or a group program, you don't always have a CRM and a funnel and all those things in place. And actually I've still had plenty of 20k cash months, 40k launches, and I've actually just started building a funnel. Before that I was just selling through my frequency, through my DMs, through conversations, through the people I was meeting. So it's perfectly possible. But the tracker, which I always use, kind of helps you to, you know, have initial conversation with them and put them through a little bit of a sales cycle, so that we know that like when people buy, I think it used to be about 7 touch points, but now it's gone up to about 30 touch points. So we know that people need to see us and be able to binge watch us for a certain period of time. So it's like, how can you create that for the 95% of your audience that aren't ready to buy in a way that you don't have a system? So how can you do it easily from all the materials you already have, and what can you create to help you in like an easy, simplified way? And then we're going to talk about sales calls and how to get the authority on a sales call, and how to sell your high ticket packages on a sales call. Like there's actually like a lot of psychological ways that you can get authority in the first 5 minutes of being on the phone call with someone. You can direct for how the sales call is going to go, kind of taking charge from the beginning, and then how to like confidently get to the point where you've explained the outcomes, you've listened to the person you're on the sales call with, and then how do you get to the point where you can say the price, and how to act when you say the price. Like just a lot of psychological things you can learn that, you know, like when you say a sales price, you have to pause after you've said it, and it can feel really uncomfortable because it's natural to be more like to say something like, well, how's that feel? I've got another option for you. Like it's natural to not want the silence, but actually it's in the silence. It's like you're psychologically giving the other person what they need in that moment. So it's like just a lot of simple things you can do on sales calls to you pitch your high ticket offers so that you convert.
Yes.
and you actually make the sale. So
Yeah.
we're going to
And
be a
that,
lot about, yeah, sorry.
no, you go. You go.
I was going to say someone left a message, a comment saying, how much have you guys generated in the last 6 months in revenue?
How do you see the comments?
Don't know. I don't normally. Maybe it's because I'm the viewer and you're the host. Yeah, so like, I haven't got my numbers in front of me, but it's good to look at your revenue on a 6-month program, because most people say, how much did you make this month, how much did you make last month? And I do tend to work more in at least 3 months or 6-month cycles, because with entrepreneurship you are always up and down. So I think I'm up to about 5k reoccurring revenue a month now, and that's going to be growing now that I've got my group program, because when I launched most people paid in full. That allowed me to have like a 20k cash month, because I had quite a few one-to-one clients that paid in full, and I launched my group that paid in full. So yeah, I'm probably up to about 5k in recurring revenue, but over the next year, I think that's going to be going up to more like 20k, because my programs are going to get more expensive, and I'll have a big recurring revenue from it. And then then when you do a launch, obviously you hit a higher monthly amount at the beginning, because people will pay in full, or you will give more bonuses for people to pay in 2 or pay in 3, rather than spreading that over a year. So you get a good cash injection. And then, so I'll have my challenge months where I have a bigger cash month. I'll have my reoccurring revenue. And then I've also got revenue from other areas. Like I've got property, I've got a finance consultancy business that I run. And I still have quite a lot of one-to-one clients, but I just, like with teaching, I just sell high ticket one-to-one. So, and there's lots of ways, even if you sell high ticket and you want someone to be able to pay across the year, because I work with my one-to-one clients for 12 months, because that's how long I think it takes to fully embody a new identity. Which is why our programs are going to be 12 months as well. So it's not to say that you won't make progresses, but it takes time to create a new identity, to embody it, to manifest that, to step into it. From this, everything we work in is always science backed, even though we talk about it from a spirituality angle, because that's what people are interested in more. But it is backed in science as well, and how long it takes neuro pathways and parts of your brain to take on new habits and to become a new person. These certain things we're doing can take like 16 weeks to start taking effect, which is why we have to be able to track our intangible results in between. But there's a lot of ways that even when you're selling high ticket over for like a longer period of time to allow a bigger transformation for somebody, there's still other ways that you can inject good cash flow. Like, so one of the ways that I do it is like the first 4 months, people pay a lot more. So it might be like £1,000 a month for the first 4 months, and then a lower amount for the rest of the year. But that means that every 4 months, you're getting a bigger cash injection. So there's lots of ways, like we're saying, when you create your high ticket package, you can tweak them on different types of payment plans and different ways to get the cash injection that you need.
So I agree. I was literally just about to say it. For me, when I was on the £300 months, that was in December, and by January, February, March, I'd gone up to, oh God, okay, I can't do the maths, but it was about £1,000. And then by, did I say March? Yeah, by April, that's when it had gone up to the £3,000. So I would say it takes about 3 months, 4 months, just like you said, the 16 weeks to that new identity that you have stepped into to become a thing. So from December, I literally just said, no way, I'm not doing this. Like, I need to because my biggest objection was time. I didn't have time for my sales activities. So do you know what I did? I woke up 2 hours earlier every morning and kicked my ass into gear and said, I'm doing it in the morning. And then I'd have the rest of the day with my kids free, and we'd go and do stuff. That's how it worked. That's all I did that was extra. 2 hours a day in the morning. I did nothing else extra apart from get up those 2 hours earlier to do those activities, because I didn't want to do them when my kids were awake, because I was like, I'm going to spend my time with them. That's why I weren't doing it. So that was my way around it. I didn't get up because I love mornings, or because I was like, oh, every entrepreneur should wake up at 5:30 a.m. No, absolutely not. But you do need to make time for the things that are going to count. And if that does mean waking up earlier, then wake up earlier, because there is literally no excuse for why you cannot wake up 2 hours earlier. Go to bed a bit earlier. like it could be a whole manner of things, but I'm a home educating mom with 3 children who has just moved house. Like I've just moved from a caravan into a cafe, which we are opening next month. We've got no furniture, no nothing. We've started from scratch. So time is not an excuse, regardless of what and I'm diagnosed autistic ADHD, just to let everybody know, because I know that people like to use that as an excuse as well. I've been there, and I'm not calling these people out or saying that there is anything wrong with it. Absolutely. I don't sit still. I'm always on the go. You'll see in these podcasts, I'm always moving. Like, yes, 100%. There is a thing, and it does, and it will affect the way you learn, but it does not affect what you can achieve, what your potential is, and what you can do. We all have that same potential. You've just got to see it. But you can
they always say the circumstances don't matter.
100%.
Your circumstances don't create your manifesting. What you believe is possible for you creates it, which is why we start on the internal. Because if you work on your identity and your frequency and how you feel about yourself, you're much more likely to get up that extra hour early, because it's inevitable. Like like for instance, when I'm thinking about, like, obviously I did my first challenge launch in September when I opened my group program that I filled. But when I was talking to like my coach about how, you know, obviously she's like 7 years on now, but when she was reflecting back, so for my second launch, I thought, what would my coach do? And I thought, right, she'd probably do Facebook ads. So I thought, I'm going to do a bit of Facebook ads. So yeah, there might not be Facebook ads ever. I haven't gone out and made like some funky videos that I've seen other people doing, but I thought I'm still going to make a start. So I'm investing in Facebook ads. And I thought the other thing she always does, that she tells me all the time, is I keep getting pop-ups that distracting me. The other things they constantly go on social media and post like 5 or 6 times a day, so that every single person should be knowing what you're launching. And if you met somebody online who follows you, they should be saying, oh, you're launching a group, aren't you? Because they've seen you talking about it so much. So I thought, actually, I'm going to do that. And that's one of the things I always said I didn't have time for. Didn't have time to make a reel, a video, a carousel, all these things every day. So yeah, I'm like, I am going to find the time. And I have actually been invited, you know, I'm still doing my newsletter. I'm posting constantly on social media. But if you didn't have the right identity, you'd have the wrong relationship with time, so you wouldn't think it was possible. But not only that, you'd be scared to be visible, scared of the judgment, scared that you're repeating yourself. You would have all these like resistance and beliefs that come up. So as you're stepping towards each next level of your identity, we're going to show you in the challenge, how do you know if you're in alignment with what you're trying to do? And alignment means, like, will your subconscious, which controls 95% of the actions you take, if your subconscious is not on board with what it is the clarity and the goal that you've set from the beginning, if your subconscious is not on board with that, which for 99% of people it won't be, because the subconscious is only on board with what you've previously had before, it's never supportive of you going forward to a new goal. If your subconscious isn't on board with what you're trying to do, it's going to bring up resistance. And resistance just means procrastination or time issues, procrastination, not having money, like how you feel, the things that you think, the things that you feel every day. Like, it's going to bring up all these things, because the main job of your subconscious mind is to keep you in the identity that you are, because in the identity you are, it knows that you're safe, and safe just means like you are alive and functioning, not necessarily happy and growing. So we have to become self-aware of what our subconscious does, so that, and being in alignment means, is your subconscious aligned with the goals that you're going towards? Because if it's not, you're going to find that you go into that cycle. You know, when people say they're trying to lose weight and they'll say, oh, I was really good for like 3 weeks and then I fell off and went back to the beginning. Well, that's because their subconscious doesn't think it's safe for them to lose that weight. So they're always going to fall off the cycle, because the subconscious mind controls 95% of the action. So you can fight with willpower against it for so long. And you know, some people that are really big high achievers can push through the barrier of the subconscious mind, but it will catch up with them eventually. But for most people, it stops us in the beginning. But for some people, the drive of the goal, like, you know how I said about the value and the worth that you attach to different things, if your value and your worth is so strongly attached, you can overpower your subconscious mind, but it will be not in an aligned way. So you probably be working really hard, hustling to get it. And then when you get there, you won't feel like the success and the celebration, because you still don't feel worthy inside.
Yeah.
So most people will be stopped by their subconscious mind, though, even if they don't realize it. It will be so we know ways of testing the goal that we're going towards, the person that we're trying to become. Is our subconscious mind on board with it? And if it's not, how can I change my subconscious mind so that it knows that this next identity is better than my previous identity, so that it stops bringing up the resistance, so that we're able to take different actions and become a different person. So that's why we work so strongly on those elements as well, because it's very hard to take the action in the same way that you would take it if your subconscious mind was allowing you to do it, because you can never be fully seen and fully visible and going all in with your goals if your subconscious mind doesn't think it's safe for you to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why we sort of start the challenge and this whole program with you. Like, that's why it's all about you at first. It's not about your business. The strategy comes second, because you are the most important thing. You are heading up the whole thing. You're not outsourcing. You haven't got any team underneath you who's helping you out. You are all of it. You are responsible for it. You have to be prepared to take on that responsibility anyway, straight away. That's a big thing. And again, that's even if you don't come from a corporate workplace that was a big, massive workplace, it could have even just been like a 5-man team for a private business. If you're working 9 to 5, which most of us were, that's where I've come from, that's where you've come from, that's where everybody's come from, that is already on the challenge, then you've got to then go, okay, nobody's telling me what to do anymore. I'm not working for anybody else's business. This is me and all me. Take that responsibility. Choose who you're going to be, your next level. So it just came back to me then about the sort of revenue, and the revenue that I'm on now. From April, it's been about 4K consistent every single month. If you broke it down, dropped now because I haven't got the clients that I had anymore, because we're opening the cafe, so making time for them and then rejigging it with this program, which, yes, of course it's scary, because I'm like, oh, okay, it would be more comfortable to stay in that, but I'm going through an identity upgrade as well. So I'm here with all the people who are going to come on the challenge. So we're going through this together. So yeah, that start with activating you, the next level of you, the best version of you that there can be. There's probably going to be better versions to come. And I don't mean that in terms of you're not good enough already. You are absolutely good enough. You're good enough where you are now. But what we're saying is that there is more for you. There is more potential, more capability for you to do absolutely anything. And we want to just expand your horizon so that you can see that, because that's exactly what Kathy has done with me. Exactly. The whole process that I've been on with Kathy over the past 2 years I've been working with her is just opening me up to everything. And I'm not saying that I'm perfect and that I don't sometimes will go into a lower frequency, and I will still sometimes moan, but Kathy will pull me out of it. So you're in capable hands with Kathy. Is what I'm saying.
That's reminded me that, like, one of the things that I really don't like seeing that much, and it's a bit controversial because a lot of people post about it, but I always see people saying, can we stop saying people should get to 10K months? Because not everyone has the time to get to a 10K month. And this is exactly what I was saying about a coach that can give their coach to you, because that's that person's belief and their assumptions that are making them believe that. Because it's not harder to get to like a 3K month than a 10K month. It might be harder if you're charging £40 an hour with each client, because if you started timesing that up in your head, you would not think you could get there. And people always say like they want their freedom. But the thing is, yes, okay, sometimes to get to 10K months, maybe you have a seasonal year where you work a little bit more because you're putting things in place. But most people I know that are getting to like 2-3K months feel like they're doing that anyway. They feel like they're tied to their business as it is, whether it's with clients or going to networking events or however they're trying to generate their money. So, but the reason we say 10K months is because we know from the average of the clients we've worked with, the average person, so in UK pounds, from the ones I've done, probably like 30 people over the last couple of months, has been like, most people are kind of, their borderline money is about 2.5K that they kind of want, and 4K is like a nice amount to get to. So that's why we say 10K, because 4 or 5K gives you like a reasonably good life. Okay, it's not like a millionaire life, but it's a life where you can work your own hours, have freedom, and like go on holidays and have the things you desire. 5K kind of gives you that like securely. So that's like probably 10K Australian dollars and probably like 7k US dollars. But then when you get to the 10k, this extra money you're making, you'll reinvest into the business. So for heart-led people, that's really important because we want to grow our mission and the impact that we want to make. And we're not going to do that if we're only earning 3, 4, 5k months, because then we're only earning the money that we need. So when we get to the 10k, yeah, it's not to say you can never pay yourself 10k, because obviously it's your money and you can do what you want. And also sometimes paying yourself more and doing more things that light you up activate your frequency more anyway. But like most of the money that we make from our challenge and from our program, like we already know we're reinvesting this into ads. This is our mission. This is what we want to do. We're not just thinking we want to have like a 50k launch and we're taking all the money. It's all for other purposes. Like we want to, we through the challenge that we're doing this time, we already know the things that we haven't really enjoyed. And we were talking about it just before the call. We're like, right, once we get out, launch our next program together, we kind of know the numbers that we're manifesting that we want. And we know that like we're going to invest in this. We know we want to have a proper YouTube channel. We want to do a proper podcast. We kind of know, like, we don't like doing things like uploading our videos and chopping them up into smaller videos. Like there's just certain things that between us, they're not our strong points, and we don't always get it done to the quality that we want or in the speed that we want. So we already know all the things we're going to reinvest in. So, you know, part of the reason of going for more, once you've got to 4 or 5k months, it's not that harder to get to 10k. It's just the pricing and the identity and how you're positioning yourself, because you do have to step into a bit of an authority, leadership. But that comes with changing your identity. The next step is going to be, the identity you want to be in to bring in that money. So I don't really like, because actually even saying getting to 10k feels a bit limiting, because there is no limit of 10k. We're just saying 10k because that's the type of client we want to work with for now, because like we're getting just a little bit above that, and I think it's really good to work with someone who's just a bit ahead of where you are. Whereas when you're working with like a millionaire or someone, they can sometimes be a bit detached from what it's like to be in this level. Like we've just gone through the season of doing a bit more, and we're kind of coming towards the other end of it. And like you're just going into like investing in crypto and investing in money. You've just bought a cafe. Like you're diversifying and doing different things as well. And like we want that for our clients as well, because that's how we follow the path that we were here to do, but also how we generate more money in different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And the whole challenge and program is all about bringing your mission to life. And we all know what brings it to life is, yes, us, because without us, there would be no mission. But we need money. Money is the resource for us to go forward and keep on doing these things, because, yes, it does take your time, because you are going to have to do the sales activities yourself until you can afford to outsource them. But the point of getting you to higher income months is so you can outsource them and you then get your time back. That's the whole point. That's how it works. You earn more money so that you can then get more people to help you, so that you can get your mission out there to more people without pulling away your time. So at the start, yes, you are going to have to put time and effort into it, and your energy, and you're really going to have to focus on that. It doesn't mean you're going to be working 12-hour days. Absolutely not. Like I said, I only did 2 hours of sales activities, and that got me to 3k consistently every month. And we want you to show up as the leader. We want you to show up as the authority. So drop the assumptions. The only thoughts that you need are yours. The only beliefs and perceptions that you need are yours, and you need to be expanded. You need to see that actually there's a big wide future out there. There's no limitations whatsoever. And that is just the whole point of the challenge. The strategy stuff, yes, absolutely, 100% great. We need that because it will help us go in the right direction for our mission to get to that point where we're getting more money. So yeah, have the two of them, and there is a guarantee. You can literally guarantee it will succeed, because we're both evidence. And there are millions of people out there who are successes, who may not work with us, but they will say they did work very similar to what we're doing in the program that got them to where they are. It's never just the one thing, never just a strategy.
Like, we're trying to build a community, but we are building a community of like heart-led people, because the idea is that actually if you're connected strongly enough to your mission, and the impact that you want to make, which doesn't have to be through your work, like the amount, you know, a lot of these one-to-one calls I said I've been having and helping people price their packages and that kind of thing, obviously they've been telling me their missions, and some people have like amazing missions, but some people missions are really big. They're like, want to create like massive communities for like rehabilitation, like just amazing things, and it's like, you're going to need money to fund this. So that like maybe the work they're doing is not always, is obviously they're a heart-led, probably a healer, a light worker, something like that, but their mission is a bit of a sidestep from the work they're doing one-to-one with their clients. Like they want to funnel money into something else as well. And if you can really connect to your mission, your impact, your values of that you want, because sometimes the money, especially when you're empathic and you're heart-led, the goal of money doesn't always drive you that much. Because like I said, the average person from the research I did can live on like 2.5K a month. So you haven't got a connection necessarily to the money of like wanting to get to 10K months. And we can tap you into that. It's very easy to tap into. Like my next goal is getting to 22K months, because I've tapped into that identity and I know what that's going to bring me personally, for me and my family, but also for my missions. Because one of my strong missions
people
is
that you're going to serve. Just it's almost a disservice to not make money, because there are people out there missing out on you. Like they're never going to get to experience you or your or whatever it is that you are going to help them with.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, and come and join the community, because one of the things that sort of got downloaded from my intuition about this community was, you know, obviously it's very new right now, but we know that like we're going to be, part of our bonuses are going to be like some things in the cafe. We're going to put on day events. We're going to be doing networking. But one of the intuitive things that's come through a lot for me is about bringing the right heart-led people together who all have a mission, because actually the mission comes in the collaboration, and collaboration is really important for us. And that's why we kind of want to build the right community, because we kind of see like how we've collaborated with this. We kind of see that there's going to be so many similar mission-led people in our communities who can collab together. So obviously if you bring the resources and the money and the skill set of several different people together, you know, like in our programs that we've got already, you know, we've got really skilled copywriters, marketing people, and then we've got like hypnotherapists, coaches, therapists. We've got such a wide range of people that could share their skills. You know, once you can get 4 or 5 people together who've kind of got different skill set, you've kind of got a program.
Yeah.
You've got the copywriter, you've got, and then it's like if you shared skills and swapped them, like I'll give you some hypnotherapy if you give me how to copyright, because there's some things that are just skills in a business that you have to learn. Like copywriting is really important to learn.
Yeah.
Selling is really important to learn. Like there are some things that are just skills, but once you've stepped into that next level identity, it's like you recognize that it's just a skill, whereas before, you know, it's a skill, you think it's you and that you're not good enough and it's not going to work for you. But sometimes it's just a skill. I'm just working with a copywriting coach now because I'm just rejigging and going into like a new era of doing group coaching and, you know, becoming more visible on more platforms. Like that's new to me. I was only on LinkedIn before. So yeah, sometimes there's skills that you have to learn, but it's like if there's a collaboration area where you can share the skills, then I feel like that's a really big part of our mission, is kind of bringing heart-led, empathic people together who, even if their missions are different, they can still collaborate with their skills. You know, like they can put in-person events on because now they've got lots of different people that can help a lot of different people, and they can, work together to amplify their own missions. So we're at our hour again. So yeah, if you're interested to join, just like normal, send us a DM or connect with one of us, but we'll link the information to the challenge underneath anyway. And so we do have like a Facebook group, but a lot of people aren't actually on Facebook anymore. And I've personally had a lot of problems with Facebook for the last few weeks. And deleting my account, suspending my account, saying I can't do certain things, but for no logical like reasons. Obviously, because I believe in universal things, there's got to be a lesson in here. And I think what my lesson is, I never wanted to have my group in Facebook. I was always going to have it on like another platform, like school or somewhere else.
Yeah.
But Facebook was just easy. So yeah, I know my lesson is that I need to move it, because I can't just be reliant. I need an external platform that actually hosts what I'm building, because I know it's going to be big. So I've got to have the foundations ready. So I think this is just to get that into gear after we've done this challenge, move to a different platform. The same thing happened to me when I ended up getting a CRM and an email database. I had a similar thing happen. There was just the push for like, you need to go and get this CRM and this email system now, because the way you're running it's just a bit too heavy to be this manual. And now Facebook's doing the similar thing to me. So what I was trying to say about Facebook is a lot of people have said to me they're not on Facebook, but all our challenges are on Zoom. So the Facebook group's just there for the community. You can still sign up if you're not on Facebook, because I probably had 10 people say that to me in the last 2 days. So I said, sign up for the challenge and you'll just get the Zoom link through email. So you can still join. You don't have to be in the Facebook community. That was just more a place for everyone to be together, to chat and stuff in between.
We'll be sharing some. Sorry, falling down the hill in my floor again. We'll be sharing some more and being a bit more active in there during the challenge as well. But it's the most important things will be the lives. So
heating timer decided to go off. It's going off in my ear. Okay, so so we'll look forward to seeing everyone in the challenge, and we will be doing another.
If anybody does have any questions about the challenge, obviously we'll drop the links below the video. But just feel free to give us a message either on my Facebook.
I'm back now. I'm back on Facebook now.
Okay, either of our Facebooks,
or LinkedIn.
It's absolutely fine.
Take care. Bye.
See you later.